Good morning and welcome to the Education Parade on WBCB. Great to be with you and making myself at home here as an invited guest to Steinert High School, the home of the Spartans. We're here in the library. Some people call it the Media Center, but it's still the library, and a lot of great tech stuff is what we're going to be talking about today as we have some of the tech facilitators. They're joining us to start the show. We'll also be joined by some of the Steinert and Reynolds teachers, and we'll save the best for last. We'll be talking to some of the students about the big Hamilton Township School District Tech Night. It's coming up on May the 3rd. Everybody's getting psyched and ready to go. We're going to tell you all the things that you can experience and enjoy as part of Tech Night. Again, May the 3rd, 2022. It's coming up right around the corner, and we're looking forward to it and really looking forward to finding out how the students at Steinert High School are learning new technology and innovative ways to change the world for the better. And with us to start, some of the tech facilitators at Steinert High School. We have Kara Floodman and also Kaylee Baldwin joining us to start. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Tell us a little bit about the life of a tech facilitator at Steinert High School. Describe your role, if you would, Kaylee, as a tech facilitator. How do you guys improve the education experience?
Absolutely. So we are actually district-wide tech facilitators. So we work not only with Steinert, but all 24 of our schools here in Hamilton. And our primary role is to do a lot of professional development and training for our teachers, but that can also roll into working with some of our students and kind of just seeing how tech integration works not only within their lessons, but in the classroom, and branch out into other areas like clubs or different activities.
So being at different schools, you must be on the road a little bit and visiting different high schools, not just Steinert, and spreading the word about technology. That's the role of the tech facilitator and getting those teachers up to speed.
Absolutely, yeah. So we kind of divide it between us, but yes, like I said, we do have 24 schools and there's only 4 of us. So it is quite some traveling that we do, but we really love it, and we love being able to not only service the high school population, but we are a K-12 district, so we get to work with kids and teachers at all teaching and age levels.
Kara, tell us a little bit about a typical day for a tech facilitator in the Hamilton Township School District. Again, we're getting you psyched for Tech Night. It's coming up, and we'll let you know more about that event, some specific details as we go through our Education Parade show here today on WBCB. But what is a typical day for you guys?
This is always a really good question for a tech facilitator on our team, because there really is no typical day, and most people don't believe us when we say that, but there really is no typical day.
Come on, there's got to be a typical day.
Well, we really like to start out with our coffee in the morning, and then we kind of plan our day from there. So sometimes we'll separate between the 4 of us and go to some of the different schools throughout the district. Sometimes we do like our own professional learning. So, you know, a big part of our job too is to stay on top of all of the like trending topics and the new application updates and things that are coming out. So we do a lot of research as a team and try to grow as a team as well, and try to know what's out there so that we can continue to share that with the teachers of the district too.
Oh gosh, that occurs to me that's like a major challenge to stay up to date with what is happening in the world of technology. Do you guys have certain websites you go to, or how do you stay on top of it?
We're part of like some really good professional organizations that we kind of lean on to get a lot of information. So We're really big networkers. We try to know people in different areas and different industries, and just kind of find out what's out there, what's good to know. So we're a Google district, so we spend a lot of time networking with our Google for Education groups and things like that are local. So we have a lot of involvement in those organizations.
Big part of being a tech facilitator, you got to stay in the know and be on top of technology. We're going to be talking to a lot of people today as part of the Education Parade. I have a couple of tech facilitators to my right, a couple of tech facilitators to my left side we'll get to in just a little bit. Also, teachers and students are on the way. But Kaylee, tell us about the certifications, the learning you got to do to be a tech facilitator.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of us do come from an education background, or at least an interest in an education background.
Sure, right.
One of our facilitators, Chris, he actually comes from more of a technical background, so we all bring something a little different to the table. But certifications wise, we all, like Kara was saying, we're a Google district, so we've all pursued our Google certified educator. There's a level 1, a level 2, and then a trainer certification. So those are some things that we strive to continue to maintain and be up to date with, because that's always changing. It's always, growing. And then as far as professional development or what we offer to our staff, it really could be anything that they are interested in. If there's something that we're not as well versed in, but they really want to learn about it, we'll do the back end research, we'll bring it to them and kind of work with them to see how they can implement it in their classroom. Or if it's something more Google related, maybe it's a basics or an advanced skill that we already have kind of in our arsenal. We regularly offer those types of classes to our staff as well, and not just the teaching staff. So you might be thinking, oh, we work directly with the teaching staff, but we have a lot of different staff in the district, like our secretarial staff. We try to offer them some different Google tools integration as well, because they're a really integral part of your building, and just anyone who's really out and about.
Yeah, and not typically thought of as part of that education model, but
Right.
an important part of it.
Absolutely.
We're talking with the tech facilitators. So I'm going to be learning a lot about technology, I think, because I'm not a big tech guy. I'm not up to date as you guys are. You mentioned this Google program. Is that something that Google provides, and you guys follow a certain curriculum that they have set forth?
So the Google Certified Educator Program is something that they've developed where you utilize the tools that are part of the Google for Education workspace, and then you basically go and you kind of take a test to see where you are able to function within those tools, and how you can use them in the classroom, and just some different ways that can be done. But that's just something that they have created and continue to update and provide.
That's pretty cool. Again, technology always innovating and advancing, and Google, we think of them as the big search engine, but also involved in education. So learning something here today. What interests you most about technology, Kara?
I think kind of before we got started, we were talking about how technology really is part of everyday life now. So it's in every career, it's in every college, it's in everything that you're going to do today, and when you leave school, work, and go to work, whatever you're going to do. Even we have, to kind of start talking about Tech Night, we have some of the Air Force and Navy joining us too, and they're even going to talk about how they use technology in all of those aspects. So I think it's so interesting, and why our jobs are so different on a day-to-day basis is because technology is in everything. So as it's evolving, as it's changing, so are we, and we're trying to make sure that we can bring that dynamic opportunity to our teachers and our students in Hamilton.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. What element of the Tech Night are you most looking forward to?
To be honest, the food trucks. No, I mean, we have a lot of different elements going on technologically based. I'm really excited to see the STEAM playground. We have different types of smaller robots where the kids are actually going to be able to do some hands-on experimentation and just kind of see how that works. And I recently went into a classroom and worked with a kindergarten group with some of the robots that are going to be there, and they were so excited. So I'm really hoping that a lot of our little ones come out and are able to engage and just have fun.
All right, well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We're going to grab those headsets and send them over to our guests to my left as we're here for the Education Parade at Steinert High School. All right, and we are hooking up our other tech facilitators who are joining us. We have tech facilitators with us today. We'll be talking with some teachers and with some of the students that are going to be involved in Tech Night for Hamilton Township School District. It's May the 3rd at Crockett Middle School, which is at 2631 Cooser Road in Hamilton. Who's invited? Everybody in the community, parents, teachers, students, just community members. If you're interested in seeing what is happening when it comes to technology today, this is a great way to find out a little bit more. It's Tech Night, and now joining us we have Chris and Ashley. And Chris, they said you bring a tech background to
Yes.
your tech facilitator role. What did you do before becoming a tech facilitator?
Basically IT work in private industry. So, but I've always had like a love and a passion for education. So, through the years, it was just something I always wanted to pursue, and got an opportunity to kind of join the district, and here I am.
Pretty cool. And
Yeah.
always technology, always advancing, and it is exciting. What we're doing today, we have our microphones and a laptop. When I went to one of our high school basketball games, we carried our equipment up the steps, and I got the feeling that some of the students there were kind of smirking a little bit that we had all of these big pieces of equipment to do what could be done in a certain way with technology, with just maybe a phone or a laptop computer. And it's a different way of thinking about how you can get things done. And, I don't think they recognized all of the intricate details that we are involved in with our live streaming. But actually, I think they kind of had a point that as technology advances, things get smaller and smaller. And maybe next year we'll be here and we can do the whole thing on a cell phone. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
Ashley, tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to for Tech Night. Describe for us the purpose of Tech Night. Push that microphone up just a little bit for us.
Okay. So Tech Night is basically a showcase of technology that our teachers and students have been utilizing throughout the year. So Hamilton is a huge district. We have a lot of apps and tools that our teachers have access to. So this is pretty much, the teachers have a showcase. It's like a science fair, pretty much. They can, show what their students have been working on. It's in May, so they have anything that they've done throughout the year that they can show, whether it's Google related, any of the apps that the district pays for. So we have things like Screencastify, where they can make videos, Go Guardian, where students are, in the platform and teachers can see what they're doing on the screen. So it's really interesting to see how all of the students and teachers can integrate technology within the classroom. And it also is something that we can show the students with a career showcase, that there are so many different careers that students can access outside of school, whether it's, like Kara was saying, the Navy, any of the military. We have some people coming from like Lockheed Martin, engineering. So it's kind of like a combination of a lot of things that teachers and students have been doing throughout the year.
Allows you guys to show off a little bit the great technology that's here for the part of the Hamilton Township School
Absolutely.
District. Tell us a little bit more about these apps. And for people who are not technology people, right, those are devices or applications that live on your phone and can help you to do different stuff. And you mentioned a couple of them, but Hamilton Township School District provides those to teachers and students in order to, have them, what kind of stuff? You mentioned creating movies.
Yeah, so there's an app called Screencastify that we really love. It's like a screen recorder. So if students are creating any sort of project on their computer, they have the ability to record their screen. They can record with their webcam, so they can make it like a little presentation of themselves. And then they can, share it. They can upload it to their computer. And teachers have the ability to also go in there, and there's like a text tool, so they can put little comments, make it very engaging for the students.
All right, besides the awesome food trucks, Chris, what else can visitors expect when they come into Tech Night? What kind of displays or things are you going to be able to show them? I mean, you can't see much on a cell phone, but are you guys going to be projecting some screens, that type of deal?
Absolutely. So let me just go right into the whole esports part that we're going to be presenting, because we're going to be presenting that on a large screen.
That is big time. This event is big time, by the way. I'll mention that this will be the third time that they're having Tech Night for Hamilton Township School District. They had around 200 people participate back in 2018. In 2019, they had like 700 people come out to Tech Night, and we're hoping to make it even bigger, but not really sure what to expect with the pandemic and all of those changes that have come. But we hope it's going to be big time, and esports is pretty big time.
Right, and it's a fairly new thing that the district has gotten into, and you'll be interviewing some of our esports people, I believe, Stephen Pay.
So do they have like a Steinert or a Hamilton
So
Township esports team?
Right. So every high
Ah.
school has their own team, and they're going to actually be competing the night of Tech Night. So
Ooh.
in our auditorium, we'll have a large screen set up, and our teams are actually going to compete against each other in various different sports
Yeah.
applications. So
Cool.
yeah.
I like when they fly the drones. I think most of the time it's gaming related, right? But sometimes I see like esports involves flying drones around an obstacle course, and that's kind of cool
Well,
looking.
speaking of drones, we actually this year have started a drone program in our school, in the middle school, and we will have a setup of the drones at Tech Night, and there is an obstacle course that they can fly through and demonstrate how to navigate the drone through different spaces.
And to me, that's a great example. Cool technology, right? But there's thousands of applications for drones, and actually, there's ways people could, make that their profession in a certain
Absolutely.
regard, become a drone operator and start your own business.
Yep,
That's-
absolutely.
That's pretty cool to connect these young people with opportunities that may be skills that they could carry into their professional life. As we're talking about Tech Night, it's coming up on May the 3rd, as we're here at Steinert High School today and talking to some of the tech facilitators in our first segment. Coming up, we'll have some of the teachers and educators, and then later on, the students will join us as we're saving the best for last, and we'll get to them in a bit. Describe some of the components of the event, maybe some of the robotics stuff. Robotics, like drones, people can, I think about the applications that those could have in a professional career or in future life. But robotics clubs and competitions are also big time, and I didn't realize esports was something that was happening at the high school level, but I know robotics competitions are, pretty much ubiquitous when it
Right.
comes to technology in high schools today.
So all three of our high schools have their own robotics teams, and they're going to be set up in our cafeteria area. Well, they'll be able to showcase the robotics that they've been working on all year, demonstrate some of the things they did in the competitions. So we'll have that as a whole separate part of our Tech Night. It'll be its own entity.
Tell us all how this Tech Night maybe differs a little bit than other Tech Nights that they've had at Hamilton Township School District.
Sure. So I've never actually been to a Tech Night. This is Kaylee and I's first Tech Night together. But we've heard amazing things. And, because of the pandemic, we're a little bit unsure of the turnout, but we're very, very optimistic. Because the past two and a half years, obviously technology has really become a huge part of education. So this is kind of, like you said, a chance for us to show off how our teachers and students have been utilizing all of these awesome tools. And we want it to be a fun night out. We want our families to come, the community to participate, and, maybe they haven't really been out since the pandemic, so this will be they can have dinner with our food trucks, play with some robots, and see what our kids have been doing in the classroom.
A lot of fun stuff when it comes to technology and Tech Night. I mean, one thing that doesn't strike me as a ton of fun, but maybe if you're into it, you could do computer coding. But that also is something that will be displayed at Tech Night and is really the building blocks of so much of technology today is kind of writing the programs and creating the applications, and you guys are able to get the teachers to help the students to learn how to do coding and involved in a coding club.
Yes, it's funny. This year we did an event recently with our middle school students, and earlier in the year with our high school students, Breakbeat Code, which basically marries music and coding. And so the kids were able to create some beats and some music through coding, and we're gonna showcase their creations at Tech Night. And we're gonna have some students actually talk about their experience with doing that.
Nice.
And so that's really, really cool. And
Do you need
so
a break dancer?
yeah, hey, if you want to come.
I don't know. Maybe you could. I'm not volunteering my services, but if you need a break dancer, I'm sure you could find one. That sounds like a good time, though.
Yeah.
So they able to create some beats.
Yeah.
Using coding.
Absolutely. And with that, they learn about different career opportunities with music and coding, specifically engineering, like music engineering. So it's really kind of neat. And the students really got into it.
Well, really kind of cool to learn about the role that tech facilitators are playing in the Hamilton Township School District. I want to thank Kara, Kaylee, Chris, and Ashley for joining us
Thank you.
in our
Thank
first
you.
segment here for the Education Parade. And we're going to be back. We have some teachers that are here at the library, and they've got some time for us, so we'll talk to them in just a little bit about Tech Night. It's May the 3rd, and so much fun stuff at Crockett Middle School. So stick around. We'll be coming right back to Steinert High School in just a moment. Welcome back to Steinert High School and to the Education Parade on WBCB. Great to be with you today, and awesome to be finding out about all this technology and what's happening in the Hamilton Township School District, letting you know more about Tech Night, which is coming up on May the 3rd. Mark your calendar. It's going to be a ton of fun. You heard about the food trucks, the coding, the robotics, the drones, and now we get to talk to some of the teachers and find out how the students get inspired through STEM and other ways that they get to learn more about innovations and new ways to do things through technology. And with us, we have from Reynolds Middle School, Kathy Breen and Steve Weibel. Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. So, Kathy, you mentioned before we got started that you guys run a STEM program. And for the viewers with us, people listening in, what exactly is STEM, and how do kids get inspired through STEM education?
Well, we use the STEM program throughout our science curriculum, so it does come up through the science curriculum. But what we do is offer an after-school program for the students that allows the students who are really interested in science and technology to have a chance to explore further. So we open it up to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and we do things like create roller coasters or...
Bring that microphone up just a little bit for us.
Sorry.
Thank you.
We do things like create roller coasters, and we take a cardboard box and we'll heat it up, and it starts out as insulation for housing, and then eventually we'll create it and make it hot enough so that they can cook cookies in them.
Huh. So STEM, you mentioned science and math, right? It's an acronym, STEM. And for people who are not in the education world, what exactly is that acronym? It's like science, technology, engineering, and math.
And you'll see STEAM also, which includes art into that.
And typically, Mr. Weibel, do students, are they more motivated to change the world, make it better? What typically is the underlying motivator for kids to want to get involved in technology?
I think that's certainly part of it. What I like about it is like Kathy was saying, students, it's not like science class. They can go after school and work with other kids who are very similar to what they like to do and explore more and have less interruptions, and it's less pressure, it's more fun, hands-on, kind of loose. Everybody in the room is very similar in their interests, and so it's not like, everyone likes working with each other, so it's a good group. So it helps to really work with cooperative learning, things they'll have to do in the future for different jobs, and expose them to different ideas as far as engineering and how things work. So ideally maybe get them more interested in thinking about other types of maybe careers than just the typical things people think of in America. Of course, that's a big thing, is trying to get more engineers and stuff, because we import a lot of our engineers from Asia, stuff like that.
What types of things will you guys be showing visitors to Tech Night? Will you have a STEM table, and your students will be out there talking with visitors?
Well, some of our students are involved in the robotics club that the middle school also offers. So our robotics club is being showcased this year. So they're going to go. We have students who will be involved with aviation. We have an aviation club where they learn to fly a plane manually on computer.
Wow.
So Jordan, one of our students who will be coming up, is involved in that. And two of our other students, Madison and Nathan, have been involved in the robotics club. So those are going to be more showcased this time around.
I'm looking forward to talking with Jordan then, because one of our BCB colleagues he got involved in like flight simulation, but the detail is pretty significant, where he would say, "Oh, I flew over this city and I was able to kind of get an idea of how bright it would be at night." I said, "Well, that wasn't. It was just virtual." He said, "Yeah, but the detail that they have is very realistic."
Yeah, that's one of our other teachers does that. But I remember the first flight simulators that came out when I was younger, and it was very, very boxy and very weird, very, very virtual.
Well, I mean, you've seen those developments through
They made
technology.
a lot of improvements for sure. Yeah.
And are you? I mean, I would imagine part of your role as a teacher is to share how technology has unfolded in your life and what you've been able to see and experience. And maybe, I look back, you say, "Oh, if only I had gotten on board with this one technology when it was first unfolding, who knows where life would have taken me in one direction or another."
Yeah, for sure. These kids these days would not understand how to live when we were younger, the way we had to live. It was a different world then, for sure. I remember, even in college is when the internet basically became a thing. So you had to go all the way through high school. I told them about encyclopedias and stuff, so that would blow their minds, having to time travel back to that, for sure.
Look up a word in the dictionary.
Yeah, dictionaries,
Jeez.
encyclopedias, taking up books to do research projects instead of just Googling, search it up. So it was a different world for sure.
Mrs. Breen, we're going to be talking with Mr. Pei at Steinert High School. Do you find that a lot of the middle school students that are involved in your STEM program continue to explore those opportunities at the high school level?
We're very lucky with our STEM program. I know a few years back we've had students, when the robotics club was just starting at the high school, we were lucky enough to have a few 8th graders come over and work with the robotics program. So we were lucky in that sense that Steinert's so close that these students can share some of their love for technology. But we're also lucky in the fact that many of our students get hooked in the middle school, so they continue on in the high school. And then Hamilton Township, as being part of Mercer County, also has options for some of the students to attend the STEM Academy. And that gives them, again, a faster track into a science program. So they basically go to school at a different facility. They get involved in these science programs, and the curriculum for the 4 years really is focused on whatever they choose. Should it be engineering or medical? So it really focuses what they want to do. So for those students who are lucky enough by 8th grade to really have an idea of what they want to do, that's also an option for them. But the ones who don't, many of them continue in a lot of the different programs in the high school.
That sounds like a really neat opportunity to get that intensive type of technology immersion.
It is.
Mr. Weibel, you mentioned a moment ago that there's a kind of a peer connection that students make through the STEM club and through other kind of opportunities that they have in technology. And I know my daughter has made a lot of those supportive connections through the music program where she goes to school. But I think that's so important. And I would imagine that the technology clubs, again, they're bringing kids that are like-minded together, that are positive, that are doing something to benefit their lives. And, to me, that's one of the most important elements of those types of clubs and experiences.
Sure. School, one of the biggest, most important things is big news now, of course, how the last couple of years have been different. So school, social development is so very important too. So it's always good for kids to have more opportunities to meet other kids that are into things they might think were weird, but other kids don't. So it definitely helps to build community and confidence and helps people meet new social groups and stuff, which is good.
Well, besides the food trucks, anything else that you're particularly interested in seeing when it comes to Tech Night? Again, that's coming up on May the 3rd, and the subject of our discussions today for the Education Parade.
I think I'm wondering what the STEAM playground is going to be all about, so I'm interested in seeing what that is.
I want to check out esports. I want to see what I'm really curious to see what that's like for the program, because I haven't seen that yet.
And so you guys do STEAM, or you guys do STEM.
We do STEM.
But then STEAM is kind of using some of that technology to create an artistic expression, some type of an artwork or
I guess it's a more creative.
performance element, kind of.
It could also be like a digital format where students may digitally plan out something or process something. So art is in a wider view than just drawing and painting that we always thought of.
Like CAD or something maybe, right? Like computer design, that kind of thing.
Technology is just a fascinating subject. We're talking about it today here at Steinert High School. And I mean, even things like NFTs or cryptocurrency and those types of things. I would imagine that students come in and talk to you guys, say, do you know about these NFTs or cryptocurrency or these other technology innovations? And keep you on your toes, I would think, a little bit.
Basically, with the middle school, we don't get as many of those types of questions, but I'm sure by the time they get into the high school and they realize, well, cryptocurrency can be useful, you get much more
Can
up
make
here.
some money,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
All right, well, let's ask Mr. Pay about that. Thank you so much for joining us as we've been talking to a couple of the teachers from Reynolds Middle School, part of their technology. Let me grab the microphone here, and we'll go from one Stephen to the other. Thank you so much to Mr. Weibel and to Miss Breen and Mr. Pay now joining us.
Yeah, hello.
So do you see that some of the students that were involved in the middle school are ready to go and are eager to be part of the high school STEM stuff?
Oh, most certainly. Most of our most dedicated members on the robotics team are previous members of robotics teams that they were either on in middle school or maybe even through some other non-school affiliated programs, and it really makes a difference. Everyone can be participatory and successful on the team, but I've noticed that the people that stick with it the most tend to be those that have previous experience.
Gotcha. Yeah. What are we going to see these robots doing on Tech Night? Are they going to be vacuuming the floor? Are they going to be painting new lines in the parking lot so that everybody knows where to go when they come to Steinert High School?
As helpful as those would be, these are purpose-built robots. We participate in the first robotics competition, which is a high school level competition that is worldwide, and all of the participants in this program get the same game that they play against other schools. We learn about it at the same time every year, the first week in January, and we have until our first competition to build, test, and try to practice with a robot. That generally is about 8 weeks, which is an incredible turnaround even for those in the industry, and an even more incredible turnaround when you consider that these are 14 to 18-year-olds that are building this robot. But they knocked it out of the park this year. We participated in 2 of our district events, and we did so well that we managed to make it to the regional district championship along with the 2 other teams in our district. So we have some pretty high-ranking members that you're going to be seeing at the Tech Night, and we're going to try to bring in our field elements, so you'll be able to see us do our thing. The game this year was focused around oversized tennis balls, throwing them into goals roughly 8 feet off the ground, and then climbing onto bars that were between 4 to I believe 7'6" tall.
The robot had to climb.
Yes, it physically had to climb. It had a height limit. These robots are large, by the way. They have a 125-pound weight limit, and they can reach up to a maximum of 5'4" which, when you need to reach a bar that's 7'6", can probably give you a little bit of pause.
Wow, so it sounded like you're creating a basketball player. You had to shoot in a basket or shoot a ball into a net, and then have it perform a function climbing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is all while you're competing against other robots built by other schools. It's a 3-on-3 setup, so it's very interesting to see how the strategy also plays into it, because some robots can defend other robots while they're trying to shoot, and it really looks like a sport while you're out there.
Well, I've seen BattleBots.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it seems kind of unfortunate that one of those poor robots has to die, but I guess that's the name of the game.
Oh, yeah, most certainly. Though our sport is a little bit more focused on the collaboration between teams. Something that's really stressed at the events is that all the teams should be helping each other, because one team that's going to be against you in one match is going to be with you the next, so you should try your hardest to make sure that everyone's able to participate in the matches, regardless of what side they're on.
And to create these robots and for them to perform the functions that they do, is it coding, right?
Yeah, there is a heavy amount of programming here. The two students that I brought along are actually some of our most dedicated programmers, so you'll be able to ask them a lot of questions about that. But there's a lot of sensors on the robot that give feedback that the robot can use. The first 15 seconds of the 2-minute and 30-second match are actually autonomous. The robot receives no input from our drivers. It's purely programming, done mostly by those two that you're going to be talking to. So there is a lot of programming involved with this, but there's also a lot of engineering as well, as our robot is designed in a 3D modeling program, so you can see what the robot looks like before we even make a single part. And from there, some of our students kind of use that as like a template or like a build instruction guide to build the robot.
And so do they fabricate the robot themselves?
Oh yeah, we have a shop here in it's attached to my classroom, and it has a wide variety of machinery that the students used. We actually got a new CNC computer-controlled router that's been very helpful for us this year. It allows us to make parts with incredible precision.
It's so exciting to hear about and to talk about, but the actual performance, it is very deliberate. Like every detail has to be painstakingly attended to in order to make things happen. I imagine many hours are put in by your students.
At least 30 hours a week when we're in build season, which is almost a second job, which these students are incredibly dedicated.
So they go home and will work on it some, or is it usually at school?
Most of the time in the classroom. For the build season, we would meet about 5 days a week for about 6 hours a day. And that's how the robot gets built, because when you're on an 8-week time turnaround, you need to be able to use the time that you have available.
I mean, what are some ways that robots are being used in the world today? I mentioned vacuuming the floor, but I mean, they're also, I think, probably utilized on the International Space Station.
Oh, yeah. One of our chief mentors...
Maybe to vacuum the floor up there. I don't know. I'm sure they do have a vacuum up there.
Yeah. Well, one of our mentors that works with the program is, I'm not the only adult that's involved. We have plenty of people that work in industry that come in and help our students.
Cool.
And one of them actually works for an autonomous robot corporation that is working at an Amazon warehouse nearby. They service the automated robots that deliver the packages from one side of the warehouse to the human packers.
Gotcha.
And he does a lot of maintenance on those robots, trying to make sure that they're all up to snuff and continuing to perform their functions. So,
at one grocery store I go to, they have a robot that will roam the aisles and I guess let people know that there's a spill. I mean, it's there to perform some function to keep people safe, and somebody must be maintaining that robot. I mean, I'm sure they're making some good money on those types of technical professions.
Oh, most certainly.
What are you most excited about besides the robotics, and what people are going to be able to see about this Tech Night coming up on May the 3rd? Again, we're going to be at Crockett Middle School, 2631 Cooser Road, and we want everybody to come out, make it a big event, maybe the biggest Tech Night ever.
Yeah. That would certainly be nice. I'm personally looking forward to the esports matches. I actually have a few students on the robotics team that are going to be representing esports as well, so I'm going to go and give them their support.
That's awesome. Well, you can root them on.
Oh, yeah.
Some esports going on, and much more when it comes to Tech Night on May the 3rd. Robotics, coding club demonstrations, careers in technology. As we mentioned, Mr. Pay just mentioned the esports demonstrations that are going to be happening, food trucks and giveaways, and we need you to come out and be there just to make it a big event, and for you to find out more. We're just touching the tip of the iceberg here today at Steinert High School. There's much more when it comes to technology in the high schools in Hamilton Township School District. Find out about it on Tech Night. We're coming right back, and we've got some students who are here with us today at the library/media center at Steinert High School, and we'll talk with them about their involvement, their experiences with technology at Steinert High School and throughout the Hamilton Township School District when we return in just a moment. All right, welcome back to Steinert High School. We're here for the Education Parade on WBCB, and we're now joined by some of the students that are involved in the technology program. We're here at the library, which is a nice spot to be, and colorful, great artwork around us, and we thank them for helping us to feel at home here at the home of the Spartans. And joining us now, we have Jordan directly to my right. Hey. Good morning. So you're the one who gets involved in some of the flight simulation stuff.
Yes.
Where have you flown to in the world as part of that program?
I've stuck mainly with Mercer Airport,
Okay.
and I haven't really left there yet. No.
Domestic flights then, or local,
Yeah.
just local flights. What do you have, like a pre-flight type of protocol you have to go through, and what are some of the things you have to do in order to fly through the simulator?
Well, yes, first, after we set all of our gear up, we always use the same plane, but,
And when you say set your gear up, is that just like a laptop computer, or is there?
no, we plug in, the yoke and foot pedals,
Oh, okay, like actually a
Yeah.
plane. Oh, gotcha.
and then,
So it's actually like you're controlling the plane
yeah.
through that foot pedal and the yoke. That's pretty cool. Well, let's talk to Nathan and Madison as well. Are you guys involved in that same kind of flight simulator program?
We aren't.
No? What do you
No.
do, Madison? What's your technology experience?
Well, I did robotics back in December, and I did STEM also.
And when you did robotics, did you compete? Like Mr. Pei was talking about the things that the robots had to learn. You guys had to teach them to do some stuff?
Well, we did, but we didn't get a chance to compete since of COVID and all that.
Oh, jeez.
But we still got to do all like the different missions and things.
What are you going to be doing on technology night?
Well, I don't really know. All I know is that I'm going there to visit it and see everything there.
Okay, I thought you might be there showing something off, but you're going to be there as a visitor?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been talking about the drones and the robots and some of the other things that are going to be on display. Anything in particular catch your attention, or
Probably like all the robots to see there.
see them perform their functions? And everybody's excited to see the esports. Seems pretty unanimous that is something that people are looking forward to. Nathan, how about yourself?
I also did robotics and STEM, and I also attended Breakbeat Code a few weeks ago.
Nice. So some of your beats are going to be on display, maybe? Like,
They might if I do end up going. I have a busy schedule, so we'll see.
well, we hope you can make some time for Tech Night, or at least for people who go out there. At least they can hear what you were able to create through that program. So you create a beat. Give us an idea, how long does that process take? Like, what is a beat? Is it like 8 bars?
So, it kind of how long it takes. It kind of depends on how long like you want your beat to be. Like for example, it took me like to make around 2 minutes. It took me about like a day or two. So, and you use like Python to actually type in code with this program called EarSketch, which it like makes the beats. And
Now, Nathan, you're like talking a different language to me, at least. So you say you use Python. Is that like an app, or?
that's Python is a coding language that EarSketch uses, and EarSketch has like a bunch of already like made sounds that you have access to.
Gotcha. And then you just put those sounds together.
Yes.
Man, sounds like it takes quite a while, though.
Yeah. It takes a bit to understand it.
Well, besides food trucks and other stuff, what kind of STEM stuff did you get involved with? Like, what you said you were a part of the STEM program. What were some of the things you did as part of that program?
For most of the time, we set up a cardboard box with a light in it.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get it to be over 300 degrees inside of that box. We had like tin foil, tape, like this fabric.
And Jordan, were you working as part of that project as well? That was like a
No, I never went to any of the STEM things.
no STEM for you. You're just flying your plane around.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you were part of the STEM program, right?
Yeah.
So, what were some of the materials that you used? What was like one of the big innovations that allowed you guys to get the box up to temperature? Or
So we had to use like different things for insulation also,
Mhm.
and including what Nathan said, we had tinfoil, we had fabric tape, we had. I think that's pretty much the main stuff that we had. We also had to have a door and a window also to the house.
Huh. And that the goal was just to get it up to a certain temperature, and you're given a challenge, and then you have to use the materials, and it's just a light bulb in this box.
Yes, and also a thermometer, also to make sure you know like their temperature that you have.
I mean, that's like when you heat your home, right? You want to make sure it's as efficient as possible, and people don't think of that as part of technology, but it sounds like that was kind of some of the things that you guys were working on with that project. Well, thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a good time at Tech Night, and thank you for spending some time with us here for the Education Parade. And I'm going to pass the microphones over to our other student guests, and we'll let you guys get back to class. All right, hold on. It's for you. Let me grab that. Thank you so much. All right, we're talking about Tech Night coming up on May the 3rd at Crockett Middle School. And it's time to, I think, change classes again, as now we have TJ and Fady with us. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hey. All right, so tell us a little bit about what you expect when it comes to Tech Night, what you might be doing, Fady.
Personally, I'm going to be at two tables, actually. One for robotics, explaining how we do things, as Mr. Pei already described our program where we build, design, fabricate, and program a robot and operate it and show how it actually functions.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work, but it's well worth it. I'm also going to be at the Hamilton Township School District interns table, where they recently started a tech intern program where you get to work with a tech professional here in the district and learn and work with them to see how to operate IT around an actual organization.
What has that experience been like? You've been working with somebody at Steinert High School?
Yes. There are, we have a person here who manages a lot of things IT-wise for our school.
So do you shadow them kind of throughout their day?
Yeah. It really involves you more on with the actual day-to-day work. So you both shadow them and also actually get to do things and just learn. So you learn and then you actually get to apply what you learn. For instance, we learned about the physical makeup of laptops, and then from that we were able to repair broken laptops in our school district, help maintain the networks to make sure they're actually running smoothly, and then help any teachers with any of their tickets and IT support.
Yeah, a program that seems to be rewarding for you, but also it's a way to kind of give back to the school a little bit. You're fixing equipment and finding out how to do that kind of stuff, but then in the process also helping to make those things happen at Steinert High School. So that sounds really terrific. How are you going to break down your time on Tech Night? Again, it's coming up on May the 3rd, and you're going to be at two different spots. Are you going to try to be there at the robotics early and then the other spot later? That's a challenge. I don't know how you're going to do it.
Bounce around.
I like that. It's a good approach. And also with us is TJ. How about your expected experience at Tech Night 2022?
So at Tech Night this year, I will be at the robotics table with other members and the other high schools of Hamilton, the Hamilton Township School District. We'll be showing off the robot that we made over the past few months and the one that we've been perfecting over the past few months as well.
Is this your first year in the robotics program?
This is not. This is my 4th year in the program.
Awesome. All right. So I want to know how the competition between Steinert and the other Hamilton Township school districts have broken down over the past 4 years. I'm hoping Steinert has done pretty well.
Yeah, we've done pretty well in the past.
Because I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. So actually what our competitions are, it's not just between just two high schools. Sometimes our competitions are between 20, 30. Our most recent one was up to 60 different schools, different teams from all over the region, not just from Jersey, but also from Delaware, Pennsylvania, all around. So
I guess thinking of the athletics stuff, it always seems like regardless of how many other schools are there, it really comes down to how Steinert would fare against Hamilton Township, for instance.
Yeah, I suppose so. So it's a little harder to judge because it's like 3 robots against 3 other robots.
Gotcha.
It's hard to do like a one-on-one comparison, but maybe we'll be able to do some scrimmages at Tech Night.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Tech Night coming up, and when you guys, he said, I think it was like an 8-week process that you have in order to create this new robot. Have you been competing this season?
Yes, our most recent season concluded the first week of April, and leading up to the previous competitions, that's when all of January and all of February is dedicated to designing, building, and doing all of the things for this robot to perform how we want it to.
It almost sounds like it is a year-round commitment, similar to maybe a high school football program where you're playing in the fall, but then you're also in the weight room in other parts of the year. And it sounds like you guys continue to work, meet, and develop your skills all throughout the year, or is there a limited time frame when the robotics club is in session?
So we primarily build our one robot for that week, for those build seasons. But in the off season, what we like to do is we like to train new members. We like to hone our skills. We like to communicate a bit more, meet new people, and bring them interested into our robotics club and everything. So that way, we can keep going
keep that program strong and
Yes.
continue to pass those lessons down to the next generation, the next group of robotics enthusiasts. How about some of the other technology things that are going to be there? Looking forward to seeing the drones. What would be on your list besides bouncing around and taking care of your responsibilities? Anything you're looking forward to seeing? Maybe some of the esports competition?
So I'm looking forward to a lot of the middle school stuff, actually, like their programs, their STEM programs, because the middle schoolers are going to become high schoolers, and I want to talk to them and see what they're doing now and how we can help them as they go into high school and beyond.
Very good. Keep on passing it along.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you for joining the show here today. The Education Parade continues. Thanks to you, and have fun on Tech Night, and good luck in your future endeavors. What are you guys planning in the future? You have any college plans or that type of thing already set, Fady?
I'm currently a junior. I'm still touring colleges. I know definitely in career-wise, I'm definitely going to go into definitely the technology industry, specifically software development and cybersecurity, especially after the last years and what we've seen with COVID and the entire technology war that's been going on. Cybersecurity is definitely an interesting field, and being able to work with robots and use the resource we have here, it's a very good introduction to how everything plays out in technology. Seeing everything develop so fast, all the new things you have to learn, it definitely helps for future.
Well, when it comes to cybersecurity, it'll be good to have a good guy like you out there looking out for us who are not as technically savvy. How about for you, TJ? Plans for the future?
So I'm
set yet, or
kind of. I'm deciding college tonight, tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can help you with your decision. Is it between two schools? Maybe Fady has an opinion.
He's definitely given me his opinion before. But with the schools, throughout all of STEM, I like the mathematics of it a lot. So I'm most likely majoring in like applied mathematics, which is like data science and all these other programs to help technology like further in the future.
Well, again, it'd probably be good to have somebody like you also out there looking out for us on the technology side. Guys, thank you for joining the Education Parade today. Have fun at the Tech Night and in your future endeavors. Best of luck. Well, this has been fun. Education Parade here at Steinert High School. Teachers, tech facilitators, students hanging out in the library talking about Tech Night on May the 3rd. We hope you'll be there at Crockett Middle School, 2631 Cooser Road in Hamilton. Hang out with the students and the teachers and find out more about technology in the Hamilton Township School District. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to Brianne O'Neill, our video engineer, Bill Redner, who helped to put our Education Parade together, and thanks to you for being with us as well. Of course, to all the staff and the students and everybody here from Steinert High School in the Hamilton Township School District as well. Take care, everybody.